My wife kept telling me I was full of hot air. So, I found a way to monetize the air. What I learned in the process just blew me away. And in this video, I'll share with you some of the lessons that I learned in the last 17 years as a balloon twister, making balloon animals for kids of all ages. Hi, my name is Rashid Huda, and I am also known as Mister Weirdo. If you're new here, you'll find a link in the description that explains why, in case you're curious. But if you're already subscribed and returning, thank you. It is my mission in life to help you reconnect with your childhood dreams, embrace your inner weirdo, and create a life of freedom, fortune, and fun. So this was back in 2008, 2007. I fired my boss with a plan to start my own business, and I swore I will never, ever, ever let anybody control my time and my income. Well, the exit plan imploded on itself. I lost a lot of money in the business that I started that went belly up in a very short period of time. And there were lessons learned there, but that's for another day and another time. I found myself in early 2008 in a desperate situation. I needed to find a way to somehow generate at least $250 per week to get by on. That was the bare minimum, and I had to figure out a way to do it without going to go look for a job, because that was not an option anymore, and starting a business with no money because I didn't have any. You know, it's amazing how resourceful you can get when you don't have any resources left. So, doing a lot of brainstorming, thinking, meditating, soul searching, journaling, everything that you hear in personal development circles. In my 30 years of restaurant experience, I had seen people will come by, mainly clowns, and twisting balloons for the little ones, working for tips. I went to a party store, bought myself a balloon twisting kit, and started playing with it. And I came to a conclusion that I could do it. I can do it. I didn't know how good I would be, but I knew I could do it. Went over to a restaurant manager friend, explained my dilemma to him, and asked him if he would let me play in his restaurant on Tuesday and Saturday nights when he had kids' night. And I said, hey, if the word gets around, people come in more often with their children. And so he said, okay. The first night that I worked there, I made $35 in 3 hours. That's almost $12 an hour. And I figured if I worked 20 hours a week, That's about $240. I needed 250. So yeah, I can do that. I can do that. So I started working at that one restaurant 2 nights a week, and then went out and found another restaurant. And then amazing things happen. There are wonderful business lessons, human lessons. I did a lot of traveling. I was able to work when I wanted. Um, I lived truly, I lived the freedom lifestyle that I talk about. For the last 20 years, I've been doing that. For the 17 years, I twisted balloons and made an excellent living doing that. What started out as $12 an hour built up to almost consistently between $75 to $100 an hour. I took some time, learned the lessons, learned my trade, and moved forward from there. I'm going to share 3 lessons that I learned very earlier on. But before I do that, let me share a story that was instrumental in learning some of those lessons. I remember that clearly and distinctly. April 4th, it was a Monday night. Usually Mondays are slow nights in restaurants. But this particular night, it was dead. I mean, there was nobody there, no children, no parents. There were some older adults that were there. While I was there, Bob Seger's old time rock and roll started playing on the PA system. And that just put me in a good mood. And I started bebopping and just kind of dancing along with the song. And like I said, there were adults in the restaurant, and they just kind of nodded and recognized that that is a song that they can relate to and they would enjoy dancing to. And so that put me in a kind of a good mood, and I started talking with the adults and offering them balloons, and most of them accepted something or other, and they were like, "Well, can you do this? Can you do that?" And I was relatively new in the business, so some of those things I knew how to do. Others, I just told them, "Hey, I'm new. I haven't quite figured it out," um, but I told them what I could do, and they usually found something they would enjoy. But here's the interesting thing. My tips were phenomenal. I mean, phenomenal. Normally, I would get maybe $1 per creation. That was my average in those days. Less than $1 actually. But that night, I made more money on a Monday night, which is traditionally slow, than I had on Friday nights, which were traditionally the busiest nights uh, in the restaurant. That was amazing. I made more money on a Monday night than I normally do on a Friday night, or I did on a Friday night. I even had a couple hand me a $5 bill, and I asked them what they would like, and they said nothing. We just loved what you're doing. We enjoyed watching you do your thing, and we just wanted to say thank you. So that was the night I learned a couple of valuable lessons that went on to become a foundation of my balloon business moving forward. So here are the three lessons that I talked about. The first one had nothing to do with that particular night, and that was you don't need resources. You need to be resourceful to be successful. Like I mentioned before, I didn't have any money, but I figured out a way to make it. The lesson number two that I want to share with you is people weren't paying me for the balloons. They were paying me for the way I made them feel. So the lesson is, in entrepreneurship basically, is that customers don't pay for products or services. They pay for what they're getting out of it. They pay for the benefits. And that a lot of business people forget that it is the benefits that the customers are looking for, not the product or the service that you're offering. And the third and very important lesson I learned that night was if you love what you're doing and have fun, if you enjoy it, then you'll make more money. So those are my three lessons that I wanted to share with you. So I learned a lot about discovering childhood dreams, embracing your inner weirdo, creating businesses out of nothing, and monetizing air, for goodness sake. So I am looking forward to sharing more stories with you. And if you really want to hear about it, put down balloons in the comments so I know that you're interested. But they're not just about balloons. They are lessons learned in entrepreneurship and stories of travel and meeting people and miracles happening. Because Mr. Weirdo always says you can create magic and miracles when you embrace your inner weirdo. So I'll see you guys in the next video. You stay blessed, my friends. Stay blessed.